The Workaholics movie, Alanis,
Yes.
was cancelled by Paramount Plus. We all know this. Now, something came up today that I don't think anyone is taking seriously, but I want us to have a look at it, dissect what they're saying, and see if we think there's any levity to this. Let's do that on this new episode of Pop Vultures. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Pop Vultures. I am your host, Tommy A. West, and joining me, as always, is my co-host, Alanis Maximus. Where did Alanis go? I'm concerned.
Ugh, the hazard to smoking, man.
I want to disappear. But, like, for good, you know?
I like that. I have that effect on you, do I?
This earth sucks. This life sucks. This podcast sucks. Sorry, I was just reflecting on how bad life is. Let's continue. So, the Workaholics movie was recently cancelled. It was coming through Paramount Plus. It had been in the works for a long time. It was announced about a year and a half ago that it was coming to Paramount Plus and it was in production. And with 3 weeks to go, 4 or 5 weeks to go before production actually began. So they were scouting, building sets, hired the crew, were doing table reads, everything. It was cancelled. And what we will do is quickly pull up what Adam Devine originally said in their current podcast called This Is Important. And if you guys haven't checked out This Is Important, it's a great podcast. It is hilarious. It's the Workaholics guys. So what we're going to do is we're going to look up This Is Important. This is what they had to say about the Workaholics movie being cancelled when it got cancelled just a few weeks ago. And then we'll get into what they said just on today's episode and dissect it from there. How does that sound, Alanis?
This sounds good to me.
Let's go for it.
Yeah, dude, I walked down in my kitchen this morning. So I have two houses. I have a house in Hollywood and then a house at the beach. And
that's because you got to get away from Hollywood. Hollywood's fucking crazy, okay? This business is nuts.
Dude, you gotta escape.
Forget about it.
And both are currently flooding.
They're both flooding.
Both are flooding. And by the way, that's currently happening. I pushed off having the contractors come so we can do this podcast.
Nothing can derail us. Okay.
Well, nothing.
No matter what they throw at us, we'll keep chugging along.
Chugga.
I feel like we have to talk about the elephant in the room. So right after I saw that my house was flooding, we get a call from our manager, Isaac, that Paramount Plus is pulling the Workaholics movie.
What?
Yeah.
Wait, nobody told me.
Blake, you didn't know this? You were on the call.
Yeah,
Blake.
you were on the call. We just did it about 15 minutes ago.
I was just ripping bongs, bro. I missed that part.
Oh shit! Sorry to be the bearer.
I'm trying to get into character. I'm trying to get into Blake Henderson.
Well, you don't have to anymore. You could just be Blake Anderson, dude.
Whenever our manager's assistant calls and goes, "Hey, I have Isaac and all the guys on the phone,"
I'm
know.
Like,
oh, it's
either
9:45 in the morning.
Either someone just died.
Adam died.
When there's more than like 1 or 2 people on the call, it's bad news. If there's 3 or more, it's bad news. Yeah. So essentially, they said that they don't think Paramount Plus strategies, which is a thing that I don't know about, but apparently that they said that Workaholics isn't global enough, and they want a more global reach.
Well, why don't you cry about it?
Our goal is to take it to Netflix or Hulu or Amazon or another streamer that thinks that we're worthwhile.
So That's what they originally said. And as you just heard Adam Devine say, we're going to shop it around to Netflix, Hulu, Amazon, whoever might think that they're worthwhile. Yeah. So now we're going to bring up what they talked about today. And I want to hear your way in and see if this is something that you actually take seriously that they're saying, or if you think that this is sort of like just mucking around. You know what I mean? Let's have a listen.
Now,
Cordry also bald. Yeah.
Oh, Cordry.
And then who's the tall guy who always he plays ADs? He played an AD on our show.
Nucky Grandma!
He played an AD in what?
Seth Morris. Yes, Seth Morris.
Seth Morris.
Ah, yes.
He played the porno AD in
Right.
whatever that episode was where
Yeah, he rocks.
Adam was like doing CSI Pornado.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right.
And then I'm getting wrapped up into a porno.
Oh, that's right. Where I'm just humping different furniture for work that afternoon.
Yeah, that was so good. Mom's
Yeah.
ham sandwiches.
Yeah, ham sandwiches.
That's a really good episode. And then and Dur's getting his ass eaten by a.
My mommy doesn't do porno. She
Oh, yeah.
makes ham sandwiches.
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah, and I'm getting coerced into doing a porno because I want to be the best actor ever.
Yeah.
And then Durs
good.
is getting his asshole licked by a pug.
By the Coast Guard.
And then Dur's storyline is he's just getting his asshole licked.
By the Coast Guard's mascot.
Hey, why didn't they let us do the movie? I don't get it.
What if I got my butthole licked by a dog?
That episode rocks, man. That episode rocks, dude.
Why didn't they let us do the movie? It doesn't make any sense.
The Code Red. Oh, you know what's funny? Isaac was talking about having the movie release in theaters, and I was like,
Yes.
well, there's gonna be a rewrite because the first scene is definitely gonna be us on the roof comparing our dicks and be like, dude, imagine if this was like in a movie, how big it would be in a screen. And then like
No.
shaking it back and forth and like adding bass for like the THX sound and all that shit.
That's cool.
Dude.
I'd be like, hold up, they don't love you like I love you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be very cool if it were able to come out in the theaters. I think it's the
that would be awesome.
I think it's the kind of movie that people would show up for because
Sound off.
there hasn't been a movie where like you and your dudes you fucking smoke a joint on the way to the movie theater.
Yeah.
And you buy way too much popcorn and you sneak in a bunch of Skittles and have a party.
Yeah. And then you kiss.
Wait, I'm sorry. Banshees of Inisherin didn't do that for you.
Freaking see ya. That one didn't.
I gotta see that shit, by the way.
No, you don't. No, you don't.
Yes, I do. I'm Irish. I gotta see it. Is it Irish?
Yeah. Hey, crawl. Hey, feel free to post anywhere you please that you would go to the movie theater to watch a work.
That
So, Alanis, what are your thoughts?
Interesting. It sounds like they're trying to make progress on them being a Workaholics movie still.
That's what I was hoping for, like they said they were going to look for a streaming service and stuff. And I have been pleasantly surprised to not hear someone pick it up as of yet. Like I thought we would have had some news where it would be like good news, Workaholics movie picked up by Hulu or whatever. And I wanted to talk to you about what your thought is about this global strategy that Paramount Plus has, because they claim Workaholics is not global enough. It's not popular enough. But if you look up Workaholics being iconic for 15 minutes straight on YouTube, that was put up a year ago. That's a long time after the show's demise. It has 1.3 million views, and it's just a 15-minute like montage of some of their best moments from their series. So for a video to get 1.3 million views, for Adam Devine to have like a smash hit show on Amazon at the moment, which is that I think it's Buster, or his name is, from Pitch Perfect. It's a spin-off series and it's doing really well. And like they're all doing pretty decent, and they're all still kind of relevant. They do this podcast every week. Like, I mean, thousands upon, like they get 70,000 listens, like viewers and stuff just on the YouTube one, and 60,000 and things like that. Like, it's not small. You know what I mean? These guys have global reach. So, I mean, for Paramount Plus to greenlight things like Beavis and Butthead, which I feel like maybe even has less global reach not the property itself, but like where it can be shown, things like that. Who plays Beavis and Butthead? Reno 911, like all these weird things that are past their heyday are getting approved, but something like the Workaholics movie didn't. Now, I want to ask you about that. What do you think about this Paramount Plus global strategy? And also, do you think that maybe it was them reading the script and not digging the script or something like that?
I think maybe maybe it was a script thing. Maybe they just didn't think it through. Maybe there was just something that had to go. I don't know. It's kind of confusing. Like, especially with Reno 911, like that's barely known of here. Like, I don't know about America, but it had a kind of small time. I think it was bigger as a series after the movie came out, and then it just kind of faded into obscurity. And it was kind of at that time where there wasn't all the streaming services, and it's kind of the fledgling days of downloading shit. I can remember when the movie came out, I was like, what the fuck is this? And it was like the only way anyone saw it was like, I think on Foxtel. And barely anyone knew it. It was like a very cult thing, whereas Workaholics wasn't that long after. And everyone knew who it was. Like, well, maybe not everyone, but I know a lot more people talk about that show than Reno 911.
Dude, it was fucking huge. Workaholics was huge. Like, when it was on and it was in its prime, like, it was one of the biggest comedy shows going around. It has 7 years of seasons to prove how good it did. And this was on Comedy Central. Do not have anywhere near the budget that Paramount Plus has for spending on things like Paramount, as a movie studio. Comedy Central are tiny. I know it's owned by Viacom and all this, but Viacom compared to Paramount, I don't think is anywhere near it. You know what I mean? Like, so to me, as I asked you before, what budget was this movie going to have? Like, a Workaholics movie couldn't have costed that much, depending on the premise, depending on what they were doing. I heard it was going to be about COVID, surrounded around the COVID thing. So like masks, things like that, them not listening, them getting COVID, something like that. Like, this couldn't have been that expensive to make. And if you look at like Reddit posts, like I've been looking into it a fair bit, like there's petitions for it to get approved at Paramount. There's like people saying it was the worst news ever when they heard that it got cancelled. Like, this isn't just a small cancellation. Like, I don't think Paramount realized the reach that Workaholics still has. I don't think Paramount realized that this has become a comfort show for a lot of people. Like, this is a show that people go to and watch when they're feeling down. Like, this is going to be one of the all-time classic comedies. I mean, for example, Trailer Park Boys. Like, they greenlight new seasons for Trailer Park Boys all the time and stuff. And look, I'm not saying anything bad about Trailer Park Boys, but Trailer Park Boys isn't as big as Workaholics.
No, definitely not.
I don't think it ever has been. You know what I mean? I don't think Workaholics was a cult following. I think Workaholics was a mainstream following.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, what do you think your hopes are for this actually coming into theaters? I mean, they're looking for someone to be able to help fund the movie, obviously. That's what Paramount were doing, because, like, they obviously can't afford it on their own. And if they could, the movie would probably still have been made by now, and they would have released it independently, like how Kevin Smith releases his movies now, independently, does like a tour of them, like does a Q&A with them, then releases them on digital and things like that. Like, I thought that's what Workaholics would have done eventually, like if they had the money to do so, which they clearly don't. You know what I mean? So what do you think the chances of us actually getting a theater run are? Because as I said to you, I don't know if this was them just fucking around, because he was like, it's like, if you want to see it, maybe sound off on the Twitter and things like that. So like, it's just an idea being thrown around at the moment. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
What do you think the hopes of that is?
I hope someone picks it up. Like, I don't know if it'll be one of the major streaming platforms, or if it'll just be a cinema company will see fit to put it out, and it'll be Where it ends up, I don't know, but released at least. Like it needs to come out there, and I think it will do very well, and I think it'll do even better now. It could be a blessing in disguise of being cancelled, because if it does come out, there's going to be more hype now. So I think it's going to do even better.
I don't know if you know this, but Paramount kind of own the Workaholics brand right now, yeah? So, like, they've got the Workaholics show on their streaming service. They've got, they were going to make the movie, you know, all this shit. What I find crazy is that they were planning on rebooting it without the original cast.
That would be fucked. You can't do that.
Like a series, like a new series with like a younger generation, like a new version, you know? And when I heard that, I was like, don't fucking think about it, because I know that 90s show didn't do bad and it's coming back. But we've seen what happens when you try to replicate something like lightning in a bottle, like that 70s show. That's not a perfect example either. The perfect example, what you're about, I think, to say is that this is their creation.
Exactly.
Them. Their characters are them. Like, they're not really playing. Like, they play more exaggerated versions of themselves. Hence the reason why Blake in the show is named Blake Henderson, not Anderson. Adam is called Adam DeMamp, not Adam Devine. Anders Holmvik is called Anders Holmvik, not Anders Home. Like, you know what I mean? Like, Kyle is Carl. You know, like, these are their characters. These are their creations. The show's comedy is all them. Like, they said, as a joke, like this percentage, but they said 37% of Workaholics was improvised. You can't recapture that magic with another cast.
Definitely not. It's the show. What makes that show work is those people. 100%. If you took them away, it would not be the same show.
No. And for them to even have the cheek to think about that, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think that's fucking cool whatsoever. And also, I don't know if people were aware that if the movie did well on Paramount Plus, it was going to be a backdoor into a brand new season of Workaholics. So not only are we missing the movie now, we're not possibly going to get another thing of Workaholics ever again. You know what I mean? Unless what we heard today is a sign that they're still trying to make it happen. And I think that while maybe a theater release is a little touch and go because of the backing, who's going to back it still and stuff, like if you can find someone who can release it into theaters, surely you can find a streaming service who will release it onto a streaming service, you know? So I don't know which one's the best option to go with, you know what I mean? But I really hope that this movie does come to fruition. It is a fantastic TV series. One of the best ever, in my opinion. And we will actually be reviewing Workaholics very soon on Televerse Reviews. I want to go back. I want to rewatch those episodes. And I want to rewatch them with you, Alanis, and see what you think. Because I think you remember I thought it dipped in quality a little bit towards the end. I've been rewatching the later episodes that I kind of like either watched half-heartedly or kind of didn't really enjoy. And I'm going back and realizing that I don't think they dipped in quality at all. I think it was more just that, like, those episodes didn't speak to me at the time as much as the others did or something like that. You know, I just wasn't feeling certain plots that they went with in some of the episodes. And now I'm digging them, you know what I mean? Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, it's a bummer. I feel really sorry for the guys. They all seem really broken about it. And from the sounds of it, they're really still trying to make it happen. So let's hope that it happens.
Definitely.
And I think that's about it for today on the Workaholics movie. I just thought we should talk about that because I haven't really seen anyone pull this up yet. I haven't really seen anyone talk about, like, even theorize if this is a possibility, you know? And I just wanted to have a chat and see if you thought it was a possibility.
Yeah, I definitely, it sounds like there might be something maybe cooking. Or maybe a lead, or they've got a little bit of hope, which makes me happy.
I'd say we haven't seen the last of the Workaholics movie.
No, I'll be very surprised if they let it go by the wayside. I don't think they will.
Think about it. If a YouTube video of Workaholics being iconic for 15 minutes straight gets fucking 1.3 million views in a year, Paramount Plus are basically knocking back 1.3 million subscribers potentially.
Yeah.
And that's just people that have watched it on YouTube, not like how many fans there are of the show. You know what I mean? So, all right. Well, everyone, thank you for joining us on Pop Vultures, and we will see you on the next episode. I have been Tom Ye West, and joining me as always has been my co-host, Alanus Maximus.
Farewell, people
Speak
out
to you
there.
later.